what? We are going to study about how to write an answer by using theories. Okay, so if you talk about textual analysis, and we are going to implement the theories out of it. Okay, so the first theory is all about what? The first theory is all about the signifier and signified based on semiotics. Okay, and we refer semiotics. एक second, रुकना यार. And we refer semiotics as a study of signs and symbols. You used to understand semiotics as a study of signs and symbols. हम signs and symbols को study कर रहे हैं. Actually, why we are studying this thing? We are studying this thing just to score more than 20 marks. Okay. If you want to score good grades, if you need to score A in media studies particularly, you need to score minimum 20%, 20 plus marks in textual analysis. Okay, so this is very important. This is very particular. Okay, if you want to score 20 plus marks, so you need to refer the theories in your answers. Okay. You need to refer the theories in your answer. This is mandatory. Okay. So guys, the first theory which we are going to focus is all about the signifier and signified. We have discussed this thing in the previous class, but today we are going to learn how to implement it in your answers and how to enforce the ideas related to the signifier and signified in your answers. Okay. The idea revolves around the semiotics. The semiotics refers to the idea, the study of symbols, signs, and let's suppose if you want to represent an individual from a particular restaurant, then we are going to use the monogram of that particular restaurant in our frames. That sign may represent the social belonging of an individual, that where he belongs to. Okay, so this is the core first theory which we need to work on. Okay, afterwards another theory is all about the Ronald Barthes theory of denotation and connotation, and this theory revolves around the idea of denotation and connotation. Connotation means we need to understand what it means. We are going to talk about the denotations and connotations. The Roland Barthes theory you can implement all these things in all the technical codes. Like if you want to talk about any representation, if you want to talk about any ability, disability, sexuality, class, gender, ethnicity, age, so you need to connote a lot of things with the help of technical codes like camera angles, sound, mise-en-scene, edit. So these are the things which you need to work on. Okay, so this is the core idea, and afterwards we are having another theory of Strauss-Hall's theory of encoding and decoding. Okay, encoding and decoding refers to what? Encoding and decoding stands for the same idea. The media producers used to encode a media message, and the audience used to decode that particular message. Okay, and the audience may have their own assumptions about the encoding. And one very important thing to understand the Strauss-Hall's theory of encoding and decoding is you must need to understand the meaning of dominant ideologies. Okay, so once I'm going to refer you to the dominant ideologies, it could be based on the patriarchy, it could be based on the class inequality, it could be based on ethnocentrism, racism, sexism. All these thoughts are revolves around where all these thoughts revolves around the idea of encoding, the idea of encoding, and particularly linked with the dominant ideologies. Okay, so this is the core idea. And now we are going to talk about another theory of the Strauss-Hall, the theory of audience, what we call it. In the first theory is encoding and decoding, and the theory is called audience reception theory, audience reception model, or you can say audience reception theory. According to this theory, our audiences are active and they may consume our media text on the basis of what they may accept the preferred code of message, in which we can say this thing that they are going to accept whatever is there in the media text, and they may negotiate the meaning over it. They may negotiate the meaning stand for what. At some extent they are agree with particular idea, but at another extent they may not agree with that. Okay, so it could be possible in this scenario. So this is more about the negotiated code of language where the individuals are going to accept the ideas given by the media producers at some extent, but they are not agree completely. They are not trying to show their agreement completely. And if you talk about the oppositional code, it's more about the idea that, as we mentioned, that thing, this thing that our audiences are active with, they know whatever the producers are showing. So they know what the producer is creating the meaning, what are the meaning, the audience know the meanings created by the encoded by the producer, and what and but they oppose that code of language, or you can say that they oppose their ideas, their ideologies that were encoded by the producer. So this is the core idea of the Shorthouse theory of encoding and decoding and the audience reception model. So I hope I have shared the basic recap of all these theories. And now onwards, we are going to learn how to implement these theories in your answers. Okay. If you guys are not able to understand anything written here, you can ask me. I will definitely repeat it for you. No worries. Okay. So the idea is according to how to write it down. I'm going to tell you this thing. According to Ferdinand, theory of signifier and signified based on semiotics. Okay, we just referred the theorist's name and the name of the theory, and afterward, then okay, semiotics. Then are contextual factors which create secondary level of there are contextual factors which create a secondary level of meaning called signified. Okay, so afterwards, what we are going to consider in this extract, what we are going to refer in this extract, the signs on uniform of character X, Y, Z. The signs of the character X, Y, Z. The sign of the character X, Y, Z establish the contextual factors related social belonging of a character X, Y, Z. Which society he belongs to. The signified meaning of the signs on the uniform may represent character X, Y, Z as an employee of XYZ corporation. You are going to show the signifier and signified meaning attached with that. If you talk about the signifier, it's just a monogram, but there are some contextual factors attached with that monogram. Like it could be the McDonald's uniform, it could be the KFC one, it could be a Pizza Hut one, so it could be like anyone. So that monogram, that sign may represent an individual with particular brand. Signifier is all about the signs of or monogram or uniform, and signified is a social belonging that what that sign is going to represent. That what are the contextual factors attached with that particular sign. Any confusion till here? Any confusion till here?
No, sir.
Okay, so now I'm moving forward. Now, first we need to understand. Now I'm moving forward with another pattern or another format to write down any answer. First thing is now in the previous one we discussed about the Shorthouse theory of encoding and decoding, and now onwards in this paragraph I am going to show how to encode the Shorthouse theory of encoding and decoding and the audience reception model. I'm going to link you all with these particular thing, and we discussed this thing. We have discussed this idea that the producer may promote or challenge the dominant ideologies in the societies based on the stereotypes, like what, like patriarchal values, like male gaze concept, like the capitalism, like the ethnocentrism, racism, sexism, ageism. Okay, so it could be possible that the producer may link their ideas and may link their concepts for the promotion or to challenge the existing stereotypical concepts. Okay, so it could be like that here in this format. I'm just going to mention this thing that there are two core differential ideas related to the gender identities. Number one is the patriarchal values based on the male dominancy. On the other hand, we are having the another challenging the gender identities like assertive feminities. Assertive feminities are all about when a female is going to challenge the traditional female identities and developing a new female identities based on the assertion. This is more about it. Okay, so moving forward. So according to the Shortall's theory of encoding and decoding, the producers encode the media text with dominant ideologies. These are dominant ideologies I have mentioned above. You can see there: ethnocentrism, racism, ageism, sexism. Okay, so these are, I have mentioned here on above. I have mentioned all the dominant ideologies based on within the society. The producers just want to establish the dominant ideologies, and they sometimes they promote, or sometimes they challenge it, but they also enforce the audience to accept the media text with preferred code. What does it mean? They just want to make sure that the audience must accept each and everything, whatever they are showing in the frame. They want to make sure this thing, the audience will accept the reality which is given by the producers. Okay, so the idea is revolved around this particular thing, that the audience must accept everything which is going to endorsed by the producers. So afterwards, now, any problem in this slide? Any problem in this slide, beta? Okay, sweet, thank you. I mentioned the theory, and now I am moving forward. I am going to endorse more ideas. Okay. Now I am going to link the concept, link the moving image with the theory. Okay. So just read it here. In this extract, it means we are talking about the film and video. The creator of this moving image XYZ. Normally, the name of a director or a producer or the creator mentioned in the question. The creator of this moving image encoded the dominant ideologies of patriarchy. Why? With the use of a parallel editing technique. Okay. What they say? I have mentioned the technical code here. They encoded the non-linear narrative where they challenge the patriarchy by which they challenge the patriarchy. Okay, by showing a character based on assertive feminine identities. Okay, what I mentioned, actually, I just want to show this thing that there are two stories going on. One is character is based on the patriarchal values or the traditional female identities, while on the other hand, we are having another character based on assertive feminine identities. So I use the term, the director used a parallel editing just to endorse this idea. There are two different narratives are going on. That's why I use the term of non-linear narrative. In this paragraph, you can see I use multiple terminologies. Like in the second line, I use the term encoded. I'm just going to mention here what are the key terms I use here. Encoded, dominant ideologies. I use the patriarchy. This is the key term, parallel editing. They encoded the non-linear narrative while they challenge the patriarchy by showing the character based on assertive feminine identities. So this is all about. So you can see how many terminologies I'm using in one small paragraph. That this is very important. Here I mentioned that the denotation is based on the parallel editing, and the connotation is based on what, with the help of parallel editing, they are showing two different narratives. Am I right? And I mentioned those narratives with I linked those narratives with the representation also. I hope the things are fine till now. Any confusion till here? Any confusion till here? Please let me know. Excuse me. Any problem? Hello? Hello? Any problem?
No, sir.
Oh, great. Thank you. Moving forward. Okay, so now I'm moving forward with the same context, with the same theory, with the same scenario. Okay, Now you should just look into this, how I am using multiple terminologies, and I'm going for the denotation and connotation, and I'm talking about encoding, decoding, I'm talking about representation. In later part of the extract, the creator established the conflict between above mentioned characters through the conversation. Okay, by using I-line match, they encoded the equal importance initially, but as Stotthall mentioned that the media producers cleverly encoded the media text. Okay, as he mentioned that the media producer used to encode the media text to endorse their preferred code. Now I'm talking about how the producer is going to enforce one character, and I'm using the Stotthall's theory that the Stotthall blamed the producers that they just want to pressurize an audience to talk about one particular way or think about a particular way. Just look into this. What I did afterwards. Okay, the creator. Listen. Okay, the creator used an upbeat sound motif. Sound motives are based on what? Whenever one character is coming there, you are going to add that particular sound over here. The creator used an upbeat sound motif for assertive feminine characters to enhance the importance, while according to the Stotthall theory of audience reception, I'm challenging this particular thought. Okay. Now, but while according to the Stotthall theory of audience reception, now the audiences are more active and they can decode a media text into negotiated and a positional code also. It could be a possibility that the audience may decode the media text based on a positional code due to historical, social, or cultural context, because the producers enhance the later frames by adding more colorful frames to endorse the beautification of assertive identities. The producers use the technical codes like edit and mise-en-scene. They are and they mise-en-scene. Full stop. They add an additional CGI CGI character to encode importance of assertive affinities, and the set design also endorse this idea. The director uses SFX and special effects and visual effects to beautify and enhance the frame, particularly linked with the assertive feminities. What is this all about? This is a very basic phenomena. Whenever you are saying this thing, that what is the basic phenomena? It's a very basic phenomena that the director is using particular effects to enhance that some particular important thing. They want to enhance that particular. So what you are going to say? You are going to say a very simple thing, that as the audiences are active, they may accept it or they may reject it, or they may negotiate it. They may accept it at some extent, and they may reject it at another extent. Okay, so we are using the Stotthall's theory of audience reception, and we are endorsing multiple ideas based on these identities. Any confusion till here? Okay, so you guys are able to link the Ronald Barthes theory of denotation and connotation. You can go in this way also. You can go in this way, that you can say, give me a second, I'm just going to.
Sir?
Yes, please.
I didn't understand negotiated or oppositional value codes.
Okay, so these are Stotthall's theory. I'm going to explain it to you, no worries. This theory is very simple. What is this all about? This is a very simple phenomena. We all know the theory of encoding and decoding. The media producers used to encode their messages with their own context. So the idea is very simple. The idea is very simple. The idea is all about what I'm going to talk about. According to Stotthall, the media audiences are more active. They know a lot of things about the scenarios and living around there. So it is very difficult to manipulate them. Previously, in modern form of media, it was possible to manipulate the audiences. But now in the postmodern world, it is very difficult to manipulate the audience because they are more active. They are more aware of the ideas based within the society. So what is this all about? This is a very basic phenomena. While we are going to talk about this thing, that the Scott Halls define the whole scenario in three basic meanings. The audiences may accept the quote, or you can say the audiences may accept what the director wants to show them. That is all about the preferred code of language. Okay. On the other hand, they may negotiate. They may have some negotiated meanings, like what they can say this thing that at this extent we are going to accept this ideologies or the thoughts, but at some extent we are not going to accept it. This is all about the negotiated code of language. While at some extent they may reject the values given by the media producers, like how they can reject the ideas. This is very simple thing. They can reject the ideas in a way, you can say in a very simple way, that they know everything. The audiences know what the director wants to show them or a creator wants to show them, but they want to reject their ideologies due to their historical belongings, their cultural belonging, their social belonging. So this is more about the idea that the media masses is going to consume by the active audience. They are literate audience. They know whatever is going on within the society. So they may accept it or they may reject it or they may negotiate over it. So the whole Scott Hall's theory is revolving around this idea. The media producers used to encode the media message and they try their level best to enforce them, to endorse the preferred code of language. The audience must accept as it is, but our audiences are active, and according to the audience inception model, our audiences are more active and they can reject the media text and they can accept the media text. Okay, so this is all about the basic idea. You can see in my reference, I have mentioned the theories, I have mentioned the representation, I have mentioned the technical codes, I have mentioned the denotations, and I have mentioned the signifier stuff and the denotations, and I have mentioned the encoding practices. So, and I linked the ideas based on representation. It could be possible that the audiences may reject the female entities or accept the female entities. It could be possible. You can just give me any scenario. I will definitely make something for you guys. Let's do something. Let's have a very small scene. We are going to do a very small scene, and we are going to do this. Give me a second. I'm going to link these basic theories, and I will share it with you. Okay. Money heist करें. नार्कोस कर लेते हैं. नार्कोस काफी टाइम से. That is giving me some pain. This is very important.
Congresista Escobar. Señor, discúlpeme. Permítame recordarle las normas de etiqueta. Que no puede entrar a la sala si no tiene corbata. Listo. Congresista Escobar. Señor, discúlpeme. Permítame recordarle las normas de etiqueta. que no puede entrar a la sala si no tiene corbata.
Listo. ¿Usted cómo se llama?
Juan,
Muy bien, Juan. Esa es una corbata muy bonita.
me la regaló la novia.
¿Verdad?
Sí.
Pues ahora estará en los libros de historia. Muchísimas gracias, amigo.
A usted.
Muy amable.
Gracias.
Listo.
I can't see her.
And when you get too close to the sun...
Introducing Peak Cream's Choco Lava.
Clip him, Mr. So now we can go. Characterization. Okay. How the director is going to represent the age here. We can talk about the mise-en-scene element, gestures, actions. Okay, the beard out there. Okay, so there are, I can add on the signifier and signified theory. Okay, the beard is all about the signifier, and the signified, the contextual factor is going to show this thing that this character is hiding out with the help of the beard. And we can go with the, so we can start our paragraph in a way that we can go in this way. According to Ferdinand, theory of signifier and semiotics, based on semiotics, signifier and signified. Here in this film, here in this extract, this character is having the beard, which is all about this, which is all about the mise-en-scene code. And this beard, but the signified stuff is that this character is hiding himself with the help of the beard, because there is a disguise with this thing, with this mise-en-scene code.
Hay que ser muy marica o tener muchos huevos para estar aquí sentado como si nada. Están ofreciendo $7 millones por tu cabeza y vos acá sentado como un berraco turista.
Está igualita Che Guevara.
Es bonito, mijo. ¿Vos qué fue, que te tragaste al Che Guevara o qué?
So actually what they are showing, we can add on the dominant ideologies also, that the government is going to capture the deviant individuals within the society. This is also possible in this way.
¿Qué? ¿No me extrañabas o qué?
Ayer cumplí 44 años.
Hue puta, ¿cómo estás de viejo, Pablo?
Muchas gracias, Gustavo.
Okay, afterwards, if we have watched this thing, is this an illusion of Pablo Escobar? Okay, if you have watched this clip, if you
¿Sabe que
this
César invadió
series.
Gran Bretaña cuando tenía 44 años? Él perdió el poder varias veces, pero siempre lo recuperó. Nunca dejó que nada lo derrotara.
Es que ese gran marica tiene un ejército en el hijo de puta, ¿o no? ¿Te acordás que siempre dijimos que si la cosa se ponía muy jodida nos metimos a la selva?
Okay, so we can also establish the mise-en-scene here, that the mise-en-scene is going to establish this thing, that this aged individual is here in the park, and the set design, the movement of extras are showing this thing that that he's somewhere else.
La guerrilla. Tata quiere que me entregue.
Tata es una mujer inteligente, Pablo.
I just want to take one very important thing afterwards. Okay, just clip
A lo mejor es una buena idea. Entregas, te meten a la cárcel, aprovechas para descansar, para pensar, para reestructurar todo el negocio. Y el día que se te dé la gana te escapas. La leyenda crece.
Eso fue lo que me dijo ella.
Lo que pasa es que vos y yo sabemos que las cosas no van a ser tan fáciles como antes, primo. Vamos a dejar de hablar tanta mierda, ¿sí? Nosotros somos bandidos, Pablo. ¿Sí o qué?
shallow focus.
¿Qué pensás?
Whenever they're talking, they're focusing on here's the match on action, here's an eye-line match, here's the director break the fourth wall here, and the letter use the 30-degree rule also. The letter use these are the connotations attached with this.
Yo pienso que todo se fue para el carajo desde el día en que usted se fue.
Si es que si me extrañas, hijo de puta.
Todos los putos días de mi vida, mi hermano.
And another part of the narrative is here that they are using a very common slang that shows that they don't belong to the elite culture of the society, although they are having the businesses, but their culture is not like that. So they're not talking in a sophisticated manner. So you can endorse this idea also. And they were talking about, if you talk about a dominant ideology, here they talk about to escape. A common individual may not escape from a jail, but the powerful individual may escape from the jail. So they're just endorsing the dominant ideologies in this frame. You can add on the Scott Hall's theory of encoding and decoding that, and decoding may link with the audience reception. But the audience may prefer, may accept it, or may reject, or may negotiate it. You need to understand this thing. Actually, it's an illusion. Okay, जब उसने उससे कहा था कि यार,
Juan Pablo Escobar.
what he said to him that I really miss you. It means he's no more. He's just an illusion of the Pablo Escobar that he's there. So we can add on multiple things in one in media text to endorse multiple ideas. Okay, so I hope the things are fine till now. You guys are able to link all these things. I have shared one Money Heist clip with you, the Bank of Spain clip there. Those were based on the assertive feminine identities, or you can say the modernized femininity, where the director challenged the dominant ideologies and they just try to enforce these ideas. But afterwards, they also challenge some ageism concept. And they also show that the might is right principle, that whoever is having the gun, he's having the control over every individual within the frame. Any confusion till here? Jada, where is the problem? Okay, so this is all about the idea how to link your technical codes with the representation theories, with the denotation and connotations theory, signifier and signified theories. Any confusion till now?